Hey bookworms, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are brand new and you've never been here before. My name is Indigo and today I have a massive book haul for you guys. I have over 25 books that I was lucky enough to get for free from the Baltimore Book Thing, and I cannot wait to share them with you all. I have classics, young adults, some childhood favorites. I just cannot wait to share them with you all, so let's go ahead and get started. A few weeks ago, I was able to visit the Baltimore Book Thing, and if you are not familiar with them, they are a non-profit organization that gives away books for free. They give them away to the public, they give them away to other organizations, schools. They're all about making sure that everyone has access to literature, and once a month they allow the public to go to their warehouse and select some books for free. You can grab as many as you want. You stand in line, it's timed entry. You have 55 minutes to browse and grab the books you like, and then once your 55 minutes is up, you can head back in line and wait to do it all over again if you want. I had a blast. I love getting free books, especially books that I don't have to return once I'm done reading them. I love the library, but sometimes I do want to keep the books because I just love the story so much. So yeah, it feels good to be able to have almost 30 books that are all mine. Hopefully a lot of these stories are winners. We shall see how it goes, but I'm so happy with my haul. For this haul, I wanted to share these books by category, but there's so many of them and it's a lot to go through, and honestly I just want to share them with you, so we're just going to pick them up as I see them. I did kind of organize them, but yeah, we're just going to go with the flow. It might be a little chaotic, but I don't feel like organizing them, and I just can't wait to share them with you all. If you hear lip smacking and snoring, that's my dog Duke. He's behind me. He's doing his thing. The heat might come on, so please forgive me if that's kind of loud in the background. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into these books. I do have some classics here. I have 6 and a half classics, because this is a Spark Notes. So I was able to grab about 7 classics, and I'm really excited about the books I have. In my first video, I mentioned how I want to read more classics, and the reason why I haven't done it is because they seem kind of intimidating, but I have so many of them that I have been wanting to read, and I've just added to the pile. So I'm making this the year that I actually read these classics. The first book I want to share with you is a Spark Notes book for the Scarlet Letter. I got this because I've had the Scarlet Letter forever and it's been kind of intimidating, and I figured this might help me throughout reading that book, or help me be able to dive into different things in the book. So I figured it wouldn't hurt to have the Spark Notes for the Scarlet Letter. The next classic I have is The Last Tycoon by F. Scott Fitzgerald. This is their last book, and it was released after his death in 1941. And I can't wait to read it. I think this book is not finished. Let me see. Let me do some research. I did a little bit of a Google search on this book. The Last Tycoon, a Romance, is an unfinished novel by F. Scott Fitzgerald about a fictional Hollywood producer in the 1930s. And this book was released after his death. This was released posthumously in 1941. It was written in Hollywood after Fitzgerald's MGM contract expired. The story of Monroe's star, the movie Empire He Built, and the woman he loved. It was Fitzgerald's most absorbing treatment of a theme that ran throughout all his fiction: the struggle for success and the illusion of the American dream. The next classic I was able to get was The Strange Case of Dr. Jekll and Mr. Hyde and Other Stories. This book is in excellent condition. It is a Barnes & Noble classic. This has, how many stories? It has The Strange Case of Dr. Jekll and Mr. Hyde, A Lodging for the Night, The Suicide Club, Thrawn Janet, The Body Snatcher, and Markheim. So that's 6 books in really good condition. and this Barnes & Noble Classic was $4.95. It's been a minute since I purchased a Barnes & Noble Classic, so I don't know if that's still the price, but I'm guessing this book is some years old, a few years old, but it is in pretty good condition. So this is classic number 4. The next book I have, oh my goodness, I was so excited when I saw it. I have the Charlotte Perkins Gilman Reader. This book includes the yellow wallpaper and other fiction, and oh my, I was so happy when I saw this. I recently read the yellow wallpaper, absolutely loved it. It was so impactful for such a short book. This book includes the yellow wallpaper. It also includes When I Was a Witch, If I Were a Man, The Girl in the Pink Hat, The Cottage, The Unnatural Mother, Making a Change, An Honest Woman, Turned, The Widow's Mite, Mr. People's Heart, The Crux, What Diantha Did, Benigna Machiavelli, I know I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, Unpunished, Moving the Mountain, Herland, With Her, In Our Land. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's 18 short stories. This was an absolute find, and I cannot wait to read more of her work. The Yellow Wallpaper was a short story that focused on a woman's descent into psychosis. It explored sexism and women's mental health. It was a pretty good read. I highly recommend it. Can't wait to read some more of her stories here. The next classic I have is The Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas. I have one of his books. I have The Count of Monte Cristo. Again, I have had it, never read it. I got it because The Count of Monte Cristo movie is my all-time favoriteest movie. It's like easily in my top 3 movies of all time. And I fell in love with that movie when I was probably about 9 or 10, and I just loved the story of revenge and the plot twist. So I bought the book but was intimidated by it, but now I have The Three Musketeers added to my collection, and I can't wait to read it. This is definitely going to be the year that I explore more classics. I am being intentional about it. That's why I made sure to look for a few classics when I was there, because sometimes I've tried to read them like the e-reader version, and I want to highlight and underline things, and yeah, you can do that on your e-reader or whatever, but sometimes I just like having the physical book so I can have my sticky notes and study. And yeah, I want to treat reading classic literature like I would if I were in school and it was assigned reading. I want to dive into them and absorb everything I can. So I'm really happy about the physical copies I was able to get for my classics. And actually, let me see. Yep, there's 2 more classics. So I was able to get The Pearl by John Steinbeck and Of Mice and Men and Cannery Row, 2 books in one for this one. I had Of Mice and Men from the library, the audiobook version. I got that, I think it was only 2 days before I found this copy. It was only 3 hours long. I'm pretty sure I could have finished it in one sitting, but I decided that I wanted to return that and dive into the physical copy. After I read the physical copy, I probably will enjoy the audiobook because sometimes you get a different experience, but I'm really happy to have Of Mice and Men and Cannery Row and The Pearl. And one cool thing about getting books from the book thing is that they have a stamp that says not for resale. This is a free book, bookthing.org, so you can't go ahead and try to sell it. It's not for resale. Let's dive into some childhood favorites I was able to find. So childhood favorite number 1 was Winnie the Pooh. I absolutely love Winnie the Pooh. I've loved Winnie the Pooh pretty much my entire life. I have Winnie the Pooh backpacks. I had Winnie the Pooh on my 30th birthday cake. I still watch The Adventures of Winnie the Pooh on Disney Plus. Like, I absolutely adore Winnie the Pooh. He is just so cute, so adorable, and just so sweet. So when I saw this, I absolutely had to grab it. Another childhood book I was lucky enough to find was Bud Not Buddy. I received this book when I was maybe 10 or 11. I had the hardback version. It was blue, and I lost it over the years. I think it got lost in a move or damaged in a flood. I can't remember, but I don't have it anymore. But now I have this one. This book is in pretty decent condition. It's not in the best condition, but it'll do. It's not my hardback copy from when I was a kid, but I'm happy to have it in my possession again. This book was purchased at Borders for $6.99. One of the things I love about books from the book thing is seeing the old sticker prices and finding old bookmarks and notes that people have left in their books. This book was bought at Borders for $6.99. The last time I went to a Borders, wow, Borders has been closed for quite a while. The last time I went to Borders, it was, I want to say maybe 2010. Yeah, the last time I went to Borders was maybe 2010. I went on a trip to New York with my dad, and we stopped in real quick, and I got a book called My Lobotomy. Can't remember the author, but it was a really, really good story about a man's journey through misunderstanding and mental illness and wanting to be accepted and finding himself after struggle. That was a really good book. I can't remember the author, but you should definitely check it out. Bud Not Buddy is about a boy who is motherless and on the run, but he's got a few things going for him. He has his own suitcase full of special things. He's the author of Bud Caldwell's Rules and Things for Having a Funner Life and Making a Better Liar Out of Yourself. His mama never told him who his father was, but she left a clue. Flyers advertising Herman E. Calloway and his famous band, the Dusky Devastators of the Depression. Bud's got an idea that those flyers will lead him to his father. Once he decides to hit the road and find this mystery man, nothing can stop him. Not hunger, not fear, not vampires, not even Herman E. Calloway himself. So, yeah, this was a really good book. Happy to have it in my possession again. The next childhood book I was able to find was East by Edith Patou. I'm probably saying their last name wrong, but this was a book I got when I was about 11 or 12, and I lost it. I was so heartbroken. I lost the book, but I was never able to find another copy of it, and I never finished it. So it was a really good book. I lost it, and I was never able to find another copy of it, but I got lucky enough to find a copy at the book thing. And what's even more amazing is I was thinking about this book couple days before I went to the book thing, and I was lucky enough to find it, and it is in pretty good condition. I can't wait to dive into this. This has been an unfinished story that has been in my mind for some time now. Rose has always been different. Since the day she was born, it was clear she had a special fate. Her superstitious mother keeps the unusual circumstances of Rose's birth a secret, hoping to prevent her adventurous daughter from leaving home. But she can't suppress Rose's true nature forever. So when an enormous white bear shows up one cold autumn evening and asks teenage Rose to come away with it in exchange for health and prosperity for her ailing family, she readily agrees. Rose travels on the bear's broad back to a distant and empty castle, where she is nightly joined by a mysterious stranger. In discovering his identity, she loses her heart and finds her purpose and realizes her journey has only just begun. This is going to be so much fun to dive back into. So happy I found this. So yeah, that's pretty much it for childhood books, childhood faves. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 more books to share with you guys. This is such a massive haul. The next 3 books I have for you guys are 3 books that came highly recommended from my mom. My mom is a big Sidney Sheldon fan, so I picked up The Sands of Time. I also picked up Master of the Game, and I got some Jackie Collins, The Santangelos. I think that's how you say it, The Santangelos. My mom loves Jackie Collins and Sidney Sheldon, so I had to get these 3 books and add them to my collection. I have another book that came out in the 80s, just like the Jackie Collins and Sidney Sheldon books. Well, actually, this came out in 78. So this is called The Teamsters by Stephen Brill. I've never heard of this author before. A gripping chronicle of the army that keeps America moving or can stop it overnight. They control the lion's share of American wealth. They are one of the largest private sources of real estate investment capital in the world. Their very name stirs whispers of corruption, racketeering, pension fraud, political manipulation, and fanatic loyalty from most of the 2.3 million members in and out of the driver's seat. Stephen Brill probes deep into the heart and gut of the Union, into the Hoffa murder, the Nixon-Fitzsimmons Watergate connection, the pension fraud that became the underworld's bank with interest-free, non-repayable loans, the violent, ironic history and the lives of its leaders in Frank and File. I think this is going to be a pretty interesting read. The Teamsters. I just grabbed this randomly. I saw that it had Jimmy Hoffa's name on there, and I love learning about like gangsters and the mafia. Like that's something I like reading about and learning about. So I decided to pick this up. And the next book I have for you is Miracle at St. Anna by James McBride. I saw the movie. Spike Lee directed the movie a few years ago, and I just decided to give the book a try. As World War II draws to an end, 4 Buffalo soldiers from the United States Army's Negro 92nd Division find themselves separated from their unit and behind enemy lines in Italy. Risking their lives for a country in which they are treated with less respect than the enemy they are fighting, they discover humanity in the small Tuscan village of St. Anna di Stasima. I'm butchering that. And the peasants who shelter them, and the unspoken affection of an orphan child, in a newfound faith in humanity, and even in the face of unspeakable tragedy, they learn to see the small miracles of life. I can't wait to read this. I wonder how different it's going to be from the movie. Again, another book that is in a pretty good condition. The next book I have is The Lost Symbol by Dan Brown. I read my first Dan Brown book, The Da Vinci Code, when I was probably 14 or 15. Loved the book, loved the movie. I actually read the book because the movie was coming out and a lot of people were talking about it, and when I found out it was a book first, I just wanted to read it so I could understand what was happening in the movie. That was my first and last Dan Brown book. So when I saw this, The Lost Symbol, I decided to give it a try. I wonder if I need to read the Da Vinci Code again. I don't know. This is a thick book. Yeah, in the stunning follow-up to the global phenomenon of Da Vinci Code, Dan Brown demonstrates once again why he's the world's most popular thriller writer. The Lost Symbol is a masterstroke of storytelling that finds famed symbologist Robert Landon in a deadly race through a real-world labyrinth of codes, secrets, and unseen truth, all under the watchful eye of Brown's most terrifying villain to date. So I'm not sure if I need to read the Da Vinci Code again before I dive into this. I probably will, because it's been some time since I last read the Da Vinci Code. But I saw this and decided to give it a try since it had been so long since I read the Da Vinci Code, and I hope I enjoy this book just as much as I enjoyed the first one. Another book I have here is a pretty random pick. They have a, what do they call it? They have a randomness, odds and ends little section where you have like these really fun random books. So I picked up Don't Try This at Home, How to Win a Sumo Match, Catch a Great White Shark, Start an Independent Nation, and Other Extraordinary Feats for Ordinary People. I thought this would be a fun read. And on the back, you can see that someone paid 95 cents for this book. My camera's not going to focus. But somebody paid 95 cents for this book from a place called Wonder Book. I've never heard of Wonder Book. But I like seeing the prices in the bookstores that people got books from originally. I'm going to look up Wonder Book and see if they're still around or check out their history. But this seemed like a fun random find. I love weird randomness, so I grabbed this one. I have 6 books here, and 1, 2, 3, 4 books in another pile off camera. So we've got 10 more books to go before this haul is complete. The next book I picked up was And This Too Shall Pass, a novel by Elin Harris. Elin Harris is an author that my mom really loves, and I remember her reading his books as a child, and it's kind of fun to dive into some of her favorite authors, now that I'm a grown-up. So much humor is sprinkled through Elin Harris's warm and timely new novel, And This Too Shall Pass, that we almost miss the pain lying underneath or the significance of its theme. Harris, who has written poignant love stories about African American life before, turns eloquently again to the question of how people, Black people in this case, learn to love in a tough and toughening society. What we don't miss is the complicated political dilemma that Harris weaves quietly and seamlessly through the lives of 4 protagonists, all of whom, as the book opens, find that their star is rising. I remember this cover. This cover looks so familiar. I'm pretty sure I saw my mom read this when I was a kid. I'll have to ask her. I'm pretty sure she read this. She loves Elin Harris. The next book I have is Black Boy Joy by Kwame Mbalia. I hope I'm saying their name right. I had seen this book at the library, but decided to wait since I already have a lot of books checked out. So when I saw this for free, I just had to grab it. This book features stories and poems that highlight Black Boy Joy, and I'm really excited to read this because one of the stories is by P. Djèlí Clark, and P. Djèlí Clark is the author of Ring Shout, which was an amazing book I read in January. I gave it 5 stars. That was the book that focused on 3 female freedom fighters hunting Ku Kluxes. The Ku Kluxes were evil creatures that fed off of hatred. I absolutely love that book, so I can't wait to see what he contributed to this series here. Next book I have is How the Garcia Girls Lost Their Accents by Julia Alvarez. This book was gifted to me when I was 13, and I lost it over the years. I started reading it but never finished it, so I was really excited about finding a copy. When their father's role in an attempt to overthrow a tyrannical dictator is discovered, the Garcia sisters, Carla, Sandra, Yolanda, and Sophia, and their family must flee their home in the Dominican Republic. They arrive in New York City in 1960 to a life far removed from their dangerous, if genteel, existence in the Caribbean, where a maid can serve lemonades on a silver tray and an uncle can be disappeared by the dictator's secret police. In the wild and wondrous and not always welcoming USA, their parents try to hold on to their old ways, but the girls try to lose themselves and find new lives by forgetting their Spanish, by straightening their hair, and wearing fringed bell-bottoms. For them, it is at once liberating and excruciating to be caught between the old world and the new. So who gave me this book? I think my dad bought me this book when I was like 12 or 13. I started it, never finished it, lost the book throughout the years. So happy to have it again. The next book is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I have never read this before, never saw the movie. I know that it's well loved, pretty popular, and I can't wait to see if it's worth the hype. Despite the tumor shrinking medical miracle that has brought her a few years, Hazel has never been anything but terminal. Her final chapter inscribed upon diagnosis, when a gorgeous plot twist named Augustus Waters suddenly appears at Cancer Kids Support Group, Hazel's story is about to be completely rewritten. I am prepared to cry. I know that I'm probably going to cry reading this book. I don't know why I never read it. I know that it's pretty popular. I know the movie was pretty popular. Don't know why. Maybe it's because I knew I was going to cry. But yeah, happy to have my own copy. The next book I have is another John Green book called Turtles All the Way Down. In excellent condition, I must say. It doesn't look like this book was damaged or abused in any way. It's practically new. And it's about 16-year-old Aza. 16-year-old Aza never intended to pursue the mystery of fugitive billionaire Russell Pickett, but there's a $100,000 reward at stake, and her best and most fearless friend Daisy is eager to investigate. So together they navigate the short distance and broad divides that separate them from Russell Pickett's son Davis. Aza is trying. She is trying to be a good daughter, a good friend, a good student, and maybe even a good detective, while also living within the ever-tightening spiral of her own thoughts. In this long-awaited return, John Green, the acclaimed award-winning author of Looking for Alaska and The Fault in Our Stars, shares Aza's story with shattering, unflinching clarity in his brilliant novel of love, resilience, and the power of lifelong friendship. I hope this doesn't make me cry, but I feel like it probably will. But I'm really excited to have this book added to my collection, and I love that it is in excellent condition. The next book I have is another hardback, The Length of a String by Elisa Brent Wiseman. I love the cover of this one. It's really, really unique. It seems really whimsical, mysterious, and like it's going to draw you in and you're going to be taken to some foreign places and experience things. I absolutely love the cover. This book follows Imani. Imani knows exactly what she wants as her big bat mitzvah gift: to find her birth parents. She loves her family and her Jewish community in Baltimore, but she has always wondered where she came from, especially since she's Black and almost everyone she knows is white. Then her mom's grandmother, Imani's great-grandma, Anna, passes away, and Imani discovers an old journal among her books. It's Anna's diary from 1941, the year she was 12 and fled Nazi-occupied Luxembourg alone, sent by her parents to seek refuge in Brooklyn, New York. Anna's diary records her journey to America and her new life with an adopted family of her own. And as Imani reads the diary, she begins to see her family and her place in it in a whole new way. I feel like this is going to be a touching story. Can't wait to dive into it. I say that about every book. I can't wait to dive into it. But yeah, I can't wait to read this. I absolutely love the cover, and I have a feeling it's going to tug at my heartstrings. Okay, so moving along to the last 4 books. I have We Are Mayhem, The Secret of Platform 13, A Constellation of Minor Bears, and Lives of Circus Animals. So these are the last 4 books. We're going to start with We Are Mayhem. This book is by Beck Milne. Has a pretty cool cover too. When Bertie's parents moved the family from their gated New Jersey community to the Catskills, Bertie thinks life as she knows it is once again just like when she quit gymnastics, completely over. But when Bertie's friends ditch her during a dare gone wrong, she finds herself staring down the barrel of a shotgun wielded by Mad Mabel, former professional wrestler turned owner of the strangest store in town. And Bertie strikes a deal with Mabel to work off her crime in Mabel's shop. Abigail Rose, Mabel's granddaughter, may be the town outcast, but she's also convinced that Bertie is destined to help pull her family's male-dominated indie wrestling promotion in a more feminist direction. With no way to return or with no way to or escape from her past and no clear course in her future, Bertie has to find a way to somehow make her new town a home. But if Bertie is going to be the future of mayhem, she first has to find a way to embrace who she is, no matter the cost. It seemed like an interesting story. I love the cover, and this book is really pink, which is one of my favorite colors. Had to reposition for a second. My booty's going a little numb. Okay. So let me just dive into the last 3 books. All right, so The Secret of Platform 13 by Eva Ibbotson. I'm probably butchering their name. Please forgive me. I'm not the best at figuring out names, and I know I could have Googled it, but yeah. So The Secret of Platform 13. Wanted 4 curious characters for a risky mission. Under Platform 13 in one of London's busiest train stations is an old doorway covered with peeling posters. Behind is the entrance to a magical kingdom, an island where humans live happily with mermaids, ogres, and mysterious creatures called mistmakers. When a beastly woman named Mrs. Trottle kidnaps the island's young prince, it's up to a strange band of rescuers to find him, save him, and return him to the king and queen. But can the rescuers, an ogre, a hag, a wizard, and a fae, troop around London unnoticed? And what if the prince doesn't want to go back? I thought this was a pretty cool story. One thing about me is I will read a kid's book or middle grade book and it doesn't bother me. As long as the story sounds good, I will give it a try. I know there are some people out there that are kind of bougie like that, but I'm not one of them. Just give me a good story and I'll give it a try. And I think this is pretty popular. I'm not sure, but I think this is a pretty popular book. I will do some research on this, but this seemed like a fun adventure book and I can't wait to read that one. Last two books, we have Constellation of Minor Bears and The Lives of Circus Animals. A Constellation of Minor Bears is by Jen Ferguson. Before that awful Saturday, Molly used to be inseparable from her brother Hank and his best friend Trey. The indoor climbing accident that left Hank with a traumatic brain injury filled Molly with anger. While she knows the accident wasn't Trey's fault, she will never forgive him for being there and failing to stop the damage. But she can't forgive herself for not being there either, or letting the deadline to accept her university entrance off the pass. Determined to go on the trio's post-graduation hike of the Pacific Crest Trail, even without Hank, Molly packs her bag, but when her parents put Trey in charge of looking out for her, she is stuck backpacking with the person who incites her easy anger. Despite all her planning, the trail she'll walk has a few more twists and turns ahead. I liked the cover and I just decided to grab it. It seemed like an interesting story. I don't know how popular this book is. Not that popularity determines how good a book is, but I don't know of many people who have read this book. I am going to do some research on some of these books that I haven't really heard before to see how other people enjoy them and if the authors have any other books that I may have heard of. But that is A Constellation for Minor Bears. And I must say, I'm pretty happy with the number of hardbacks I was able to get. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, probably about 7 or 8 hardbacks. But yeah, A Constellation for Minor Bears. In the final book of this haul, The Lives of the Circus Animals by Christopher Brom. I randomly grabbed this. I don't know what drew me to it, but once I read what the book was about, I felt like I had to give it a try. I love the cover and I love the spine. I don't know what it is about the spine, but it just made me want to read it. So The Lives of These Circus Animals. Oh, and how cool is this? Wow, there's a postcard in here. I just love the things you find in old books. We got a postcard from Doubletree Guest Suites in Houston, Texas. And we have, what is this, a bookmark? A Different Light Bookstore, the nation's brightest bookstore. They have a location in Los Angeles and San Francisco, specializing in gay and lesbian literature. How cool is that? Wow, I love finding things in books. In Lives of the Circus Animals, Brom explores contemporary New York theater, spending several days and nights with a diverse handful of men and women. There's Caleb Doyle, a hot new playwright whose newest work, Chaos Theory, has just bombed. His sister Jessie also loves theater but has no outlet for her talents except to work as the personal assistant to British actor Henry Luce, the Hamlet of his generation, while he does a Broadway musical. Henry loves Shakespeare, money, grass, and boys. Then there's Frank Earp, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name right, an ex-actor who courts Jessie and is directing a troupe of acting students in a homemade play. Among the students is Toby Vogler, a nice kid from the Midwest who has a whole other career at night. Toby was once Caleb Doyle's boyfriend. Overseeing this world like an unhappy god is Kenneth Prager, second-string theater critic for the New York Times. Leaping from one life to another, one day to the next, the novel throws these people together in a serious comedy about love and work and make-believe. I thought this would be an interesting read. Yeah, I don't know much about this author or their, any of their other work, but it just seemed like it was interesting. I loved the cover and the spine. I don't know what it was that drew me in, but it was a random pick and I can't wait to see how it goes. So that is it for my massive book haul. I was able to get 27, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 20, 23, yep, 27. I was able to get 27 books for free, which is absolutely amazing. If you want to check out the Baltimore book thing, I will leave a link to their website in the description box below. But yeah, 27 books all for free. I can't wait to dive into them. I'm happy to have some classics added to my collection. Happy to have some old favorites, some books from my childhood added to my collection, some new things that I'm going to get to try and see if I discover some new favorite authors. So yeah, thank you so much for sticking it out and watching this if what feels like a somewhat chaotic book haul. I can't wait to talk to you beautiful, amazing people in the next video. If you have read any of these books, please let me know how you felt about them. If any of these books were a part of your childhood, please let me know as well. I would love to hear from you guys. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you beautiful people in my next video, and I hope you have a good day no matter who you are or where you are. Yeah, I'll talk to you next time. Bye.